this is Russ. I'm back out on the road once again. See how I added that extra word once? Yeah, so what am I riding today? Well, give you a hint, it's 24-inch wheels on here. Yeah, it's the Engwe X24. Yeah, the X24. This is a more aggressive feel on a bike here. Alright, we're gonna have to stop here. This guy's coming out of his driveway, so he's kind of stuck in the middle here. That's okay, no problem, we'll hang out. Plenty of cars to trigger that sensor. Can't talk this morning. So where are we headed today? Who knows? Nobody knows. We just ride for the sake of riding. Sorry about that. Had to pull up my sleeves a little bit here. These sleeves are really long. This is again one of the UV rated shirts that I have, but this one seems to be a little long. Let's see, the speedometer shows 19.6. It says our speed 18. So it seems that the speedometer is a little bit fast on this bike too. I seem to notice that a lot of the bikes seem to be that way. They're usually off by a mile to mile and a half, something like that, based on that particular radar detector that's on the road. I tend to trust the radar detector more. What do you think? So the Engwe has me leaning more forward. It probably needs to be changed out for the handlebar stem. You could put a riser on there, make it a little taller, make it a little closer. But no, I haven't done that. I think I'll leave that to whoever gets this bike next. So this bike has been promised to one of our subscribers who picked up the Traxxas Lynx. Yeah, I told him that he would get first crack at it once I decide to sell the bike, and once I make a decision what the bike will sell for. If he decides to go for it, it'll be his. If he doesn't, then it'll be open to anybody else. So he will get first crack at this bike. He's expressed interest in it. So what did I do to modify the bike? Well, as I mentioned, I put a strip of packing tape across the screen so that I would be able to see the screen. It's one of those, again, that if you have a polarized sunglasses, it's very hard to see, but you do that diagonal strip of packing tape on it, it's pretty much you can see it. I mean, you can see it perfectly at that point. Let's take the street this time. This is the route we usually go to when I go to the post office, but I have no intention of going to the post office. I'm just gonna ride the area. So, this Engwe X24, as I mentioned in the review, if you want full throttle, you must leave this on pedal assist level 5, because the throttle will only go as fast as the pedal assist level has been designed for. So let's say pedal assist level 2 gives you, I don't know, I'm guessing, this is not for sure. Let's say it does 12 miles an hour, then your full throttle will give you 12 miles an hour. If your pedal assist level 3, say, gives you 16 miles an hour, then your full throttle will give you 16 miles an hour. So if you want full throttle, you must be on pedal assist level 5. That's actually okay. It's not a big deal, because if you're one who throttles a lot, as I typically do when I do my videos here, yeah, you just feather the throttle. Like I'm feathering it now. We're doing almost 20 miles an hour according to the speedometer. So yeah, if you don't want that fast, then throttle less. Or if you want more, throttle harder. So it's no real big deal. You just got to get used to it. Every bike seems to have its own little quirks, right? That's one of the quirks. This is a left-hand thumb throttle, by the way. And so it takes a while to get used to if you're used to a right-hand thumb throttle, but my bikes have left and right thumb throttles, so I'm kind of used to both at this point. But I remember after being so used to right-handed thumb throttles that the left-handed thumb throttle felt so foreign to me. So you just got to get used to it. Now, on a 24, I am fully straddling the bike. See, both hands are off the bike. Bike's not tipping over. See, that's because you got that top bar. That top bar just touches me on the top. I am 30.5 to 31 inches on the inseam. And their top bar touches me just a bit. So if this had been a 26-inch bike, yeah, I wouldn't be able to have both feet on the ground and straddle like this, because the top bar would be hitting me. This is why I think 24-inch wheel bikes might be a nice type of bike. Now, of course, every manufacturer is going to make the top bar different sized, of course. But the chances are, being a smaller wheel, the frame should be slightly smaller. At least that's how I think they should design it. So yeah, we're just going to stand here. Of course, cars behind me are probably wondering, why is this bike in our way? Well, they may not realize this bike can do 30 miles an hour if I wanted it to. But again, as you know, the 30 mile an hour is a limited time. It's, I think its maximum time is about 3 minutes. If you throttled fully at 3 minutes at 30 miles plus per hour, it'll eventually back itself off to basically protect the battery. That's what I've been told. And I guess that kind of makes sense, but would you really want to do more than 30 miles an hour continuously for over 3 minutes? I don't know. I guess if you were in a hurry, you might, but I don't typically do that. You know, I will ride, I would say between 18 and 22 miles an hour most of the time. I usually won't go that much faster than that. The only time I go fast is if I'm competing with cars on the road. But as you know, I try my best to find roads that are not that heavily traveled. Like this road here is not that heavily traveled. I mean, how many cars have passed me since I've been on there? 2, maybe? Yeah, it's not a whole lot. So, not a big deal. So remember too that the X24 has 2 batteries in here. There's a 19.5 or 19.2, something like that, amp hour battery that I'm sitting on. It's the seat post. The battery is actually the seat post. And then there's another battery that's a 10 amp hour battery on the top tube. So combined together, they do, what do they do? 29.2, 29.5, something like that. Actually, I didn't even turn on the other battery. Let me turn the other battery on. I'm running only off of the top tube battery. Let me turn that one on. Yeah, it's a, here, let me get off the bike here. There's the bike. There's a button back here. Okay, where is it? Oh, top here. Now that I've turned it on, it turns green. Both batteries are running. Now, if you don't turn it on, okay, only the top tube battery runs then at that point. And we want both of them to run. There's an equalizing circuit in here that evens out the potential of both batteries. So since we had run the top tube battery for a while, it's going to be a while before that battery will kick in again. So I'm guessing that the seat tube battery will run now until they even out. Then the top tube battery kicks in with it. So you could actually have both batteries running at the same time. It's kind of running in parallel, but they don't want me to say it that way. They just says there's an equalizing circuit in there. Okay, whatever they want to call it. So yeah, you can kick them both on, it doesn't matter. doesn't affect it, doesn't hurt it. But since we're going some distance right now, might as well have them both on. Now the wattage meter will show you the wattage of the combined together and show you essentially the one that has the most power. So I guess, well, I shouldn't say the wattage meter, I should say the battery meter will show you the one that has the most. And of course at this point that would be the seat tube. So I'm showing 100% battery. And then as things even out, you know, they'll both be running at the same time, and kind of gives you the average of what both batteries together as a potential will give you. So there's information too. There's a power meter on the bottom. I just kicked it in. So, you know, depending on how hard you throttle will tell you how many watts you're using up. So if you throttle softly, you'll use less power, which means you use less battery. Or you pedal, right? If you pedal, you use less battery. Let's turn here. Now I've not kicked in any of my map programs or anything because my cell phone only has like 35% battery power. I forgot to charge it up. There is no ability to plug in the cell phone to the battery of the bike. You know, some bikes have the ability to have a USB output right at the display screen, and you don't have that on this bike. There's no fenders on this bike too, just so that you know. Let's pass this thing up. It looks like some guy is doing some construction stuff. Let's go a little further. Yeah, you know, they're cutting up the asphalt or something, probably getting ready to do some more asphalt work. And when they do that, it just kicks up a ton of dust. Alright, maybe we should make a turn over here. Let's take a turn over here. See, the thing is, when you hit that throttle hard just to kind of get you moving, I saw that thing kick over 1400 watts. So yeah, if you're not careful, you could eat up a lot of battery on this thing if you're throttling a little too hard. So I'm feathering it now. It's jumping between 200 to 700 watts depending on how I touch the throttle. Let's see what happens when we pedal. Let's pedal. Yeah, so even pedaling, pedal assist level 5, I'm hitting 1400 something watts. If I drop the pedal assist level down, let's say it's level 3, 38 watts, 78 watts. But I'm not going that fast either. So I can feel the resistance. I don't like the resistance. Oh yeah, see, when you hit 4, it jumps way up to 1400 watts, so you got to really be careful. All right, where are we heading here? Let's take a right. But again, on pedal assist level 3, I'm full throttled at this point. It's only showing 200 something watts of usage, but we're also only getting 12 miles per hour because it'll give it to you whatever level 3 has been set for, even at full throttle. Let's turn here. Let's go to 4. We'll give it full throttle. So full throttle hits me, we've hit 14, 18, but it's dropping back down. So again, what it seems to do is it gives you a lot of throttle use initially. It just pumps the power out, then it backs itself back down. So it's now averaging about 466, I guess, something like that. Going downhill a little bit here. So, you know, when you go downhill, you're gonna pick up some speed and your wattage use will drop a little bit. All right, we're going up the hill, so now it's kind of kicking in more power. It's 1046 watts. So yeah, depending on how you play this, which way are we going here? I don't know where we're going. I'm just riding. Your power usage is going to vary quite a bit. This is why it's very hard for you to tell how much miles you're going to get out of a bike, because depending on how you're riding the bike that any given day, it's going to change. Yeah, you just gotta have to know what your batteries can do and what it's going to give you. I'm showing 96%, is it? 98% on the battery meter at this point. Everything depends on how fast and how hard you want to push your bike, really. As you know, I tend to ride a little bit fast, and it's okay. You know, everyone has their own way of doing things. Oh, a busy street up ahead. What is this street? Where are we at? We'll decide where we're going to go. Quentin. Okay, we're not going to do Quentin. Should we do Quentin? I don't think so. Let me see here. I think if I took Quentin all the way down, I think eventually, let's go to 5 here. I think eventually I will hit Harper College. I think it's in this direction, so let's do it. All right, so now I have put myself on pedal assist level 5, which means if I do full throttle, I get full power. Let's go full throttle. Well, let's eat up some battery here. Let's see where it goes. So we're doing 26.4. 26.1, 27, Palatine Road up ahead. Let's back off here. Palatine Road, let me think here. I think if I keep going forward, we'll eventually hit the school. Yeah, let's just keep going forward. Let's see where it takes us. I think my only concern all the time really is if I have enough battery to get home. That's all. That's all I ever worry about. I don't want to pedal a heavy bike, is what it's saying. You know, if you run out of battery, you'll be pedaling a heavy bike. Oh, there's a bike path in there. Didn't notice that before. I don't know how big that is though. Some type of reservoir, it said. Right now, it doesn't seem to be a whole lot of cars on the road. What time is it? 9:30. So cars are not on the road because people are probably at work. It's not rush hour anymore, getting to work. I got out here early because the weather is pretty decent right now. When I left the house, it was 67 degrees, I believe. So it's not too bad. Figure I better do it while I can. Now, according to FedEx, I have another bike coming in. It's supposed to be in today, but when you check the FedEx app, if it doesn't say out for delivery, it's not coming in. All right. So even though for days it's been saying that Monday you'll get a bike, yeah, it's not coming. I know it. It has to say out for delivery or it doesn't come in. So I'm gonna guess tomorrow. And of course, it's one of those all-day deals again because it says by the end of the day, so which means you got to be hanging around forever. But if it says by the end of the day, I'm gonna guess that means 7 o'clock at night again. So I'm not gonna kill myself and and hang out forever. I'm gonna do my stuff and then maybe in the afternoon I'll hang out. I'm not hanging out for FedEx again. Forget it. Those guys are notorious for not delivering when they say they're going to deliver. They'll give you a time window. Last time it said 9:30 to 2:30, so I hung out that long and it didn't show up until 7:15. So yeah, I don't trust what they tell me. But let's put it this way, you know, if they try to deliver and you're not home, they'll just keep it on the truck. They'll try again the next day, and then I know for sure it's coming in then, right? Depends really how desperate you are for the thing that they're delivering. I'm not that desperate at this point. When it comes, it comes. That's how I see it. So because of that, that's why I'm out right now, even though it said delivery on Monday. If it doesn't say out for delivery, it's not coming in on Monday. I already know that. Now, if it's a product that doesn't need signature, then, you know, they could deliver and they'll drop it just like Amazon drops it. They'll just drop it by your front door, or in our case, sometimes the front door, sometimes in front of the garage. They've dropped bikes in front of my garage and just left it there in the past. And it said signature required. They didn't care. Come on. Yeah, sometimes it pays to have a horn. He gave me the wave. Yeah, he heard my horn. This is the time when you like to have a horn. A little bell would never have gotten his attention. He'd never hear that. But he heard the horn. That's why I'm saying that the horn might be a little too loud for pedestrians. It'll kind of scare them, I think. I think this bike needs a bell as well as a horn. So I might add a bell or something, who knows. Just debating where you put it. It's so much stuff on the handlebar. Maybe over here on the side? No idea. Okay, we're still going. I don't see any college. Is it further down? Who knows? Let's just keep going. Let's see where it takes us. I don't travel this area much, as you know. Now, we talked about riding on streets that are safer for you. Well, this would be one of them that is not. Yeah, Quentin can have some pretty fast cars going. But it's not too busy right now, so let's go for a while. New areas to see. How do you like that? New areas to see. Palatine Fire Department on our right side, it says. What else is around here? Lakeside Estates. What else is out here? Second Baptist Church. Yeah, I have a feeling we probably went too far. Or we're not going in the direction we're supposed to hit the college. No idea. Well, maybe it is. This is Dundee Road, it says. Holy Resurrection Orthodox Church. Oh, you know where we are? We're by the Forest Preserve. Oh yeah, I guess we didn't go far enough. Yeah, this is the Forest Preserves typically as we get in there. Alright, forget it. We'll just take the road back. Oh, okay, now I know where that all is. That's because I'd gone the opposite direction, and I just traveled the entire Quentin Road to get back to this area. They really need to cut back some of this overgrown vegetation here. We're going to have to go a little slower. We have somebody ahead of us who's not really moving too fast here. I don't want to zip past them. It's kind of a tight road here for us. Now this is technically the sidewalk, but you need to take the sidewalk to get to the other part of the path. So I've had people say that, hey, you're on the sidewalk, you know, comments, but they don't know the area. But this is how we basically go in order to get to the bike path. I'm going to let him get in through here first. No, maybe not. On your left. You seem to have gotten slower and slower. I can't hang out that long, forget it. I got to go. Alright, so this is the back side of the hill test. This is going down. We're going to end up going down the hill, not up the hill. Thank you. Now this does have trigger shifters, by the way. If you were to pedal, let's drop our pedal assist to 3. You can pedal up and down. There's trigger shifters here on your right hand. Pedal up, pedal down, whatever you need to go. Let's give some more throttle here. Yeah, you just got to get used to whatever bike you're riding. They all have their own little ways of doing things. But I would highly suggest, if the gentleman buys this bike, change out the handlebar stem if you want to ride more upright. Right now you kind of lean forward. Yeah, that's the way they designed this bike. Problem with leaning forward to me is it tires out your arms. Your arms get really tired. Right by your wrists, you're really tired because you're kind of leaning on it. But I would leave it stock as it is, and then whoever buys the bike down the road, leave it to you guys to make the change. Yeah, I won't be keeping this bike forever. That's for sure. I have way too many bikes as it is now. But I think he wanted to get it right away. He traveled the distance to get here. He came from Missouri, state of Missouri. Still waiting for Indiana. Waiting for Indiana guys to come and buy a bike. But anyway, yeah, it would have been nice, but he didn't have a car rack at that time. He did buy my other car rack. I had 2 car racks. And so he has a hitch on his car. So he can add it if he wants to. So I think the next time, if he does come, I would say bring the car rack, because it'll make it a lot easier to transport this bike on the car rack than it will be to try to stick it inside his car. Hey, I'll tell you, that Traxxas Lynx fit inside his car. Yeah, he had an SUV, a Mazda SUV, and it fit in there. I was shocked. We didn't even have to take the wheel off. Yeah, it fit in there perfectly. What we did is we rotated the handlebar down to give a little more clearance, but we didn't take off the wheel or anything. Yeah, fit in there. This one will not fit in there, let me tell you that. This one will not fit in there. Bring the car rack if you decide to get this bike. I don't know when I'll end up releasing this bike. I told him I needed to do a couple more rides on it, a couple more videos on it. So yeah, he'll enjoy this one. This one has full suspension. Let's bounce a little bit here. Yeah, I can feel that bounce. It's got 3-point suspension. It's got a rear suspension, front suspension, and a middle suspension. Yeah. So you've got a little of it all. Yeah, this is a nice bike. I really kind of like it, but I can't keep everything, sadly. I have to pick and choose which will stay and which will go. This is one of the nicer ones to go. So what are the downsides of this bike? Well, I would say the downsides, it doesn't have any fenders. I like fenders, but again, based on the design and style of the bike, it wouldn't have fenders. It wouldn't make any sense for it to have it. Some people take it off-road and they don't use fenders. So, it has that little padded seat in the back so you can carry a second person. Yeah, I wouldn't do that either. I know they have it there. I guess you could, but there's no foot pegs there, so people in the back wouldn't have anywhere to put their feet. They'd be dangling. I would tend to think that's a little dangerous. But I like leaving that seat there because it acts as a fender. Yeah, at least for the back end, it's going to hit that seat before it's going to hit you for the mud and whatever might kick up depending on where you're riding. So yeah, it's nice to have it there, but it's not a true fender, and it's got no foot pegs for those you might carry. Leans forward a little bit too much for my liking, but again, that could be remedied as well. Hit the horn in advance, that way they can hear it in advance. The thing is, if you don't have the bell, you use the horn, hit them way in advance, because the thing is so loud, they'll hear it. All right, let's stop here, because you could never tell if people are going to stop or they're not. Okay, they're going to stop, so thank you very much. We'll say thank you. And the 30-mile-an-hour limit thing for 3 minutes, that's probably a negative, I guess. I understand why they're doing it, but let's say you needed 4 minutes. You don't get 30 miles an hour then, so that might be a negative. But again, if you don't ride that fast, like I said, I don't even ride that fast, would it be an issue? So I don't think so. Maybe not. I'm not going to test it. I mentioned before, I don't risk my life for stuff like that. So, but you know, you'll go for a certain distance sometimes, then you'll back off. You'll go for a certain speed, then you'll back off. Like we pushed it really hard when we were in Quentin, but I backed off eventually. So is it affecting me right now? And the answer is no, it's not. So, gave her the head nod. Always give a head nod. Yeah, this is definitely a different feeling bike as you ride it. And the looks are really nice too. I like how it looks. Some people don't like the look, but I kind of like it. I kind of like it. Things grow on you, you know. This is the narrowest bridge we have here. Alrighty. Well, anyway, I appreciate you guys watching today. Gave me a way to get out. Don't have to wait for FedEx because they're not delivering, even though they say they're going to deliver. If you like this video, go ahead and hit that like button. Hit the subscribe button. More videos to come. We've got a lot more days of riding before winter time happens, that's for sure. So, I'll talk to you guys next time.